Okay, I want you to understand this is not going to be the easiest interview for me, okay? You know, I've been in this business roughly 50 years, 47 of them here. And I've worked with this gorilla family. I didn't think it was going to be this rough scenario. Okay, I worked with this gorilla family since they came into the United States. The grandparents were 4.5, 5 years old, 5.5 years old. I unpacked them when they came from Africa. They were just little guys. I've been with them their entire life. And I've seen all the babies be born. I've seen everybody that didn't make it. I raised Harambe from the day he was born. He lived with his mama for the first roughly 21 days, and then her sister, Martha, sort of got sick, and Martha was the one that was the stable family member. She's the one that made sure Mama took good care of him. He cried, Martha checked on her and said, you take care of him, okay? Anyway, Martha got the flu. And so she was not attentive for a few days, and Kayla, she said, I'm not going to do this anymore, here, you do it. And so consequently, I ended up taking him home, and he went home with me at night. For roughly, back in those days, for us it was a sort of a trying to make things work for about a year. And he lived with he had a brother, he lived with his brother, whose mama, she didn't care to raise her babies at all, and another sister, and they did just fine. He was a character. When he was, I don't know, maybe 12 pounds, some bitty guy. He was playing with one of the docents on the counter up there in front of that window, and these are the little guys that run back and forth and play with the docents and the keepers, and this bail keeper come walking in there, and he didn't really know him. And then he reared up and leaned back and beat his chest at this guy. Here's a guy who weighs 12 pounds, the guy weighed over 200 pounds. He was saying, get out of here, you know. But he always had a little bit of a flair about it. He was not mean. He was a gentle little guy. He grew up to be a beautiful, beautiful animal, but he was never aggressive. He was never mean. He would tease the heck out of people. He would do things just to irritate you. You know, just like some kids. I don't know if you've ever been around kids. Anybody has kids, you know what they are, especially when they become teenagers. And he grew up to be a beautiful, beautiful teenage boy. He was coming into himself. And I raised 2 sons, and he was no different than they were. The difference is between him and my sons is I never changed any diapers when my sons were little. I changed hundreds and hundreds of diapers when these little girls were around when they were little. So that's sort of, in a nutshell, Jerry Stones and the Gladys Zoo. You could not find a more rewarding business to be in. Sorry. There are some highs, boy, that you cannot believe they even exist, but there's also some lows that you have to live through, and that's what we're dealing with right now. Unforeseen circumstances oftentimes show up, and there's nothing you can do about it. Not a thing. And he was caught in one of those. It's as close as I'm going to get to talking about other people, is I'm going to say that mother and father had to be petrified. They had to be scared to death. The public around them had to be mortified. Everybody was total lost because, my God, they didn't know who he was. This beast had this baby. The zoo people had to be in a situation where they had to make a decision that, God Almighty, there's no, how do you win? How do you win? Then you cross the moat. And he was in a situation where there's this strange thing here that I don't know what do I do? And do I fight it? Do I love it? Do I run from it? What do I do? And an unforeseen circumstance was born, and he had to lose. So that's the end of that. Okay, anybody have any questions for me?
Was it hard at first when they originally transferred him to Cincinnati? Was it hard for you to say goodbye?
Oh, heavens, yes, ma'am. I think on Facebook, there's a picture of me with a little gorilla in a red blanket. That's his half-sister. She was born here. She's in Cincinnati, by the way. Her name is Gladys. Gladys Stones in the stud book. And when she left, I left before she did because I couldn't take it.
How long do the gorillas typically live in captivity? Like how long was Harambe expected
Well,
to live?
let's see here. Right now, the oldest gorilla that's lived in captivity is almost 60 years old. She's named Kolo. She was the first gorilla born in captivity. She's in the Columbus Zoo. Grandpa is in his, exactly we don't know. He's in 52 to 54 or 55. I found out after years in this business, the ones that we raise by hand grow real fast. Machos, right? You look at these boys we got out here, they're calm, man, and they're young. But when you let the mother raise them, they don't grow as fast. They don't get all of the rich food, the vitamins, they don't get all of the milk, they don't get all of the stuff that we give them, so they don't grow as fast. So when they show up from the wild, we do not have an exact age on them. If we used to compare them to, well, okay, that same size as JoJo over there, and well, that don't work because JoJo may be 2.5 years old and that guy may be 3.5 years old because they grow differently. You take some of these kids where mom feeds the heck out of them and at 6 years old, that sucker's pressing 200 pounds, you know, and another kid that raised it when they're scraping out of them is a lot smaller. And it's just the way, that's just the way things are.
Can you discuss the breeding plan, the reason for sending it to Cincinnati, how that works, about, you know, coming together with other zoos and just similar situations in the past?
Well, sure. Harambe, from the day he was born, he grew up and he showed very, very good tendencies towards being a leader. Not aggressive, just he had a presence about himself that showed that he was the big guy. I'm the leader. He wasn't aggressive, he wasn't mean, he just, I'm there. When he was 4 years old, he carried babies around with him that were, when he had them hanging on his belly, they were dragging the ground. He'd go get the babies and nurture them and play with them and take care of them. Whereas the other young males didn't do that. He showed a promise, okay? So when it come time for a gorilla from this organization to go elsewhere, he was selected because of this. He had a very positive attitude about being a leader. And actually when he went up there, he had these two girlfriends of his. Now he wasn't in a breeding situation because it was too early. They wanted to wait a while, but he stepped right up. He said, I'm the big dude, and he said, I'm a leader, and these are my girls, and don't mess with me, you know. So that's how he was selected, because we cannot keep all these males here, just like any other zoo cannot keep all the males there, because they can't breed to their family. You know, they don't get a chance to breed unless they go someplace where they can have a family of their own. And it's if not all males will ever get to breed, because, well, just like humans, there's 50% of them are males, and the troops are multiple females and one male. I'm going to go out on a limb here. This here, I'll state this. People laugh about this. This is the opinion of Jerry Stone. Does not represent the opinion of the Gladys Zoo or anyone else who works here, okay? But I've read and I've talked to people, and in the wild, the mountain gorillas, they talk about how there's a big male silverback, and then there's the younger teenage boys, the scaries that are out at the side walking through the forest and everything. The lowland gorillas seem to be a little bit different. There's one big daddy, and there's not any big teenage boys in the group because they get pushed away. Because as soon as they start pushing the dad a little bit, they have to go away. So it's primarily a male with his females and younger males until they get to be a little pushy. And that's the reason these boys came out of their natal troop, is they got big and they started checking dad out, saying, you know, I think I might be able to whip him, you know? Well, you don't want that in captivity. We can't allow that. They can't get away from each other. As people don't, many animals, people do not realize that, let's say they live in, when you live in a half an acre, when there's a fight, there's no place to run. So that does not always work in captivity. So that's where things are done a little bit different.
And since you knew Harambe, I don't know if you can comment on this. What do you think his reaction was to when the child fell? What was he trying to do in your eyes?
I really, ma'am, maybe 3 or 4 years over a martini, I'll tell you all about it. But right now, until there's a investigation, the USDA has to come in and make an investigation. The American Association of Zoo has to come in and do an investigation. The zoo they're doing their own investigation. Until everybody has done their thing and come up with a synopsis of what they believe, we really and truly cannot get involved. It wouldn't even be right. It would not even be, I wouldn't want people making decisions about me from 1,000 miles away, and I sure as heck won't make them. Those people have always been an excellent zoo. Done wonderful things with gorillas. They've been a leader in the gorilla programs, and unforeseen circumstances, God. And so that's as far as I can go with that, okay?
What do you want?
Anything that Harambe was known for while he was here, you know, I think some people, I mean, that's one of the main attractions, and people look at certain gorillas because of certain characters or attitudes or actions.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything that he was in particular?
Oh, yeah. He would just make the keepers' lives miserable. And when I say miserable, I mean he did things like a docent years ago when he was a little bitty guy. They'd take him out on the island before they put the rest of the gorillas out. The docents would take these 2 boys outside and they'd let them play around on the grass. And then this one docent, she taught him how to splash the water in the waters he was running by. Man, if you went in that building and he was locked inside, you had to watch it because his water bowl, as you walked by, you got covered with the water from the water bowl. The problem is it wasn't always pure water that was in the water bowl. So every day when the keepers would go in the morning, the first thing they would take this empty stall and they'd make sure the water was out of the water bowl and then transfer him over there so you could work in there in peace. The guys, we used to give them sticks. Well, we still give them sticks. Chippewa, it's a native tree that grows around here, and it's a wonderful tree because they eat the leaves, they eat the twigs, they chew the bark off of it. Well, the guys gave him one that was too long one day, and he took it and poked the lights out with it on the outside of the stall. He poked the lights out. Just, you know, he did things. He would deliberately just, or if you walk by and he had a stick, you had to watch it. He'd poke you with the stick. He would slam the door. The guys would open the door and as he'd go in, he'd slam the door just to hear the guys cuss.
How big of an impact did he make on your life?
Oh man, if you can just listen to me here once in a while, you can see it's an impact, a devastating impact on my life. It was he was just a beautiful creature. Not that he was any better than any of my other babies, but he was just a beautiful person, a beautiful creature. Yes, ma'am?
What's your opinion on the whole petition thing that's going on about people that are trying to, you know, make sure that the parents are kind of held accountable for the loss of Harambe?
Ma'am, that's one of the things I don't want to get involved in.
No problem.
Again, I really can't, ma'am. How would you feel if, you know?
What kind of procedures do you guys have currently in place to respond to something if something were to happen here? Is there a procedure in place, or are you guys like re-examining the height of the wall or anything that you might be reevaluating?
We annually, sometimes semi-annually, we have drills. okay? We have the capture team. It's the veterinarian, his assistants, and anybody he needs to help. Brings the capture gun. When the code red goes out, they come with the capture gun. And we'll call, you know, before I said, I call a code red at the giraffe exhibit, the lion's in there. Boy, man, you want to see something crazy. And keepers come from every direction that are supposed to show up. The zoo veterinarian shows up with his help. There's a couple guys that are designated as the kill team. We are required to have these. I don't want you to think we're just out here wanting to kill everything. We are required by the parent organization, the AZA, to have these available and ready to go into action. And then there'll be keepers that come and we try to make sure the animal stays in one given area. You don't want to push them, you just make sure they try to keep them over there in an area. Until the capture comes and darts them, puts them to sleep, and put them away. There are also other keepers all over the zoo, run around and grab up the public, so get in there, get them into the buildings, we lock the buildings down to protect the public. We shut the front gate. We try to isolate and control, okay? That's what we do a few times a year, a couple times a year at least, as a drill. I don't exactly go out here and turn off blues and say, hey, come and get it, you know, no. We have the drills. So, and these people did the same thing. Now, whether you shoot, whether we would shoot or don't shoot, that depends on the circumstance. You know, the animal's out to use that behind his ears. Hard to put it straight. 30, 40 years ago. 40 years ago, probably.